Here is the ultimate up-to-date Minecraft mining guide for the latest version of the game. Of course, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to not miss more videos like this. Let's dive right in. First, we need to go over how you actually get started mining, and the way you do is pretty simple. All you need is a pickaxe. This tool comes in multiple tiers, and as you progress in your world and get more expensive materials, you'll be able to craft faster and better pickaxes that can also mine a greater number of ores. The first pickaxe you will ever craft in your world, and definitely the most accessible one, is the wooden pickaxe with 60 durability. This one is crafted with 2 sticks and 3 wooden planks of any kind like so, and is the slowest pickaxe in the game. These are all the blocks it can help you mine. This pickaxe is only really used to mine mainly stone so that you can craft stone tools and a stone pickaxe. Once you get a stone pickaxe, the wooden one becomes basically obsolete. Speaking of the stone pickaxe, it is crafted with 2 sticks and 3 cobblestone, 3 blackstone, or 3 cobble deep slate blocks, and it has 131 durability. Speed-wise, it is already significantly faster than the wooden pickaxe, and when we look at the amount of ores it can mine, you can see you'll now be able to mine some more valuable ores like iron, lapis, and copper. The copper pickaxe is the next tier after stone. This guy mines faster than stone, has more durability as well, however still only mines the same amount of ores that a stone pickaxe can mine. But honestly, since copper is pretty easy to find, especially in many surface level caves, the upgrade from stone to copper is definitely worth it. If you are either yet to find or don't have that much iron to use an iron pickaxe carefree, the copper pickaxe can be great for speed while still saving resources. However, it is still easily trumped by the iron pickaxe, which is crafted with 2 sticks and 3 iron ingots with 256 durability. This pickaxe is not only faster than both stone and copper, but can also mine a ton more blocks, including gold, emeralds, redstone, and diamonds, making it a very respectable tool for any mining trip. And after this, we're getting into the higher tier pickaxes. The diamond pickaxe is up first, crafted with 2 sticks and 3 diamonds with 1561 durability. It's the 3rd fastest pickaxe in the game and can mine a couple more blocks that iron can't, like obsidian and ancient debris. Then the netherite pickaxe. This is the 2nd fastest pickaxe in the game with 2031 durability. It is not crafted in the same way as others. To make this, you'll need to combine a diamond pickaxe with a netherite ingot and a netherite upgrade template in a smithing table. What you will then get is a much faster and twice as durable tool compared to the diamond pickaxe, while still mining all the same blocks. However, despite being incredible, it's actually not the fastest. That award goes to the gold pickaxe, crafted with 2 sticks and 3 gold ingots. This one can barely mine any blocks. It can't even mine iron ore, and it has a durability of just 33 uses. However, in terms of pure mining speed, it actually beats the netherite pickaxe. Since it's extremely impractical otherwise though, I would not really recommend using this pickaxe. And before we continue, guys, I do have a Discord server as well, which is linked in the description. If you like my videos and want to hang out with me and a few others, it is a great place to do so. Thank you so much. Now, of course, back to the video. But regular pickaxes aren't really enough. If you're looking for maximum utility out of your pickaxe, you want to make sure to enchant it as well, either in an anvil or an enchanting table if you're far enough in the game to do that. We're going to go over 5 pickaxe enchantments that you definitely want to have. First, we got Unbreaking 3 and Mending. These are purely for durability so your pickaxe doesn't break. Unbreaking makes the pickaxe last longer, and Mending allows you to repair the durability using XP. Then we got Efficiency 5. This just makes your pickaxe faster at mining overall. Of course, why would you not want that? Then we got Fortune and Silk Touch. These enchantments are mutually exclusive, meaning you can't have both on one pickaxe. Fortune increases the amount of materials that you get from ores, so you'll get multiple iron, multiple gold, and multiple diamonds per block that you mine. The only ore it doesn't work on is netherite or ancient debris. Silk Touch, on the other hand, gives you the whole ore block. So for example, when you mine diamonds, you will actually get the full diamond ore block instead of regular diamonds. This is quite useful for inventory management. So because they're mutually exclusive, here's what I'd recommend. Have 2 pickaxes, one with Fortune 3 and one with Silk Touch. When you go mining, use the Silk Touch pickaxe to collect all the ores you find and collect as many ores as possible. Then, once you get back to your base, place down all the ore blocks you collected and mine them with the Fortune pickaxe instead to multiply your drops. Doing it like this allows you to not only conserve preserve your fortune pickaxe's durability, but also save inventory space for when you're out caving, which is important to collect as many resources as possible. So now that you know all about the most important tool for mining, let's go over each ore in the game and the best way to obtain them. Starting off, we got coal ore. Coal is one of the easiest ores to find. You can find it in many surface level caves and even just random holes. However, the best place to get coal is definitely in hills and mountains, because coal ore is found much more commonly on Y levels greater than 100. By the way, Y levels are measuring height in like XYZ coordinates, it's height. Anyways, because they're found on Y levels greater than 100, big mountains, especially in the rocky areas, are going to generate a ton of this stuff. You don't even really need to head underground to find coal ore, honestly. Next up, copper ore. Copper ore is actually pretty useful with the addition of copper tools and armor, and to find copper, you want to either head to a beach biome and look for caves under there, or head to a dripstone cave. These two biomes are where copper ore generates the most, and when mining for copper ore, you want to make sure you're somewhere near Y level 47 for the best results. Another alternative to copper ore is also just find a trial chamber. Trial chambers are massive structures that can be found underground, and they're literally made of copper. So if you find one of these structures, you will literally never have to mine for copper ore ever again. To find trial chambers more easily, you can trade for a map for one with the cartographer villager. That map will take you directly to the nearest one. Next up, we got iron ore. For this one, you're definitely going to have to venture a bit deeper. I'd say regular caving is still a great way to find this ore. However, it spawns mostly around Y level 16, so you'll need to find a big cave that goes a little deeper than normal. This can get dangerous, especially if you're on hardcore, because deep caves have a crap ton of mobs, and it can be super easy to die down here. That's why another option for iron mining is to still head to layer 16, but branch mine instead of going caving. I'll explain what branch mining is right now. Dig down to layer -58 and then create a 2x2 tunnel in any direction. Make it decently long. Then simply dig a bunch of 1x2 tunnels branching out from that original tunnel in both directions. Each of these tunnels should be no more than 30 blocks in length. Also, every tunnel is always 2 blocks apart from each other, so we can cover a good amount of space. To spawn proof it from mobs, all you have to do is place torches every 13 blocks in both the main and side tunnels. Another tip, large clusters of iron ore veins can spawn below Y level 0. That's also the level deep slate starts spawning if you need a visual indicator. And these iron ore veins are joined together by multiple tuff blocks. This is what tuff looks like. It's kind of a pale gray. So if you're in a cave or branch mining and see some iron ore next to a bunch of tuff, don't ignore it. If you follow the tuff blocks and mine them out, you might actually find a 50+ block iron ore mega vein, which is just absolutely insane. It won't always happen, but definitely be on the lookout. And although mega veins of iron generate below layer 0, you can also find significant amounts of iron higher up at layer 232. Of course, only super tall mountains go up this high, but if you do find one, especially a stony peak, it's a great strategy to get a ton of iron, especially early game. Then we got gold ore, of course found deeper than iron. Best Y level for gold ore is around level -16, so you need to either branch mine down there or find a cave that goes below deep slate and into that Y level. However, there are also many other methods to find gold. One insanely effective one is visiting a Badlands biome. Gold ore here is as common as stone, especially if you head into one of the mine shafts or into a Badlands cave, you will be finding gold ore all over the place. The Badlands is a warm biome and spawns more around biomes like deserts and savannas, so to find it, you want to search near these warmer biomes specifically. The third option is to go to the Nether and look for Nether gold ore. You will of course have to head to the Nether dimension for this one. Make sure to look in a Nether waste biome, because that is where Nether gold ore spawns the most. You also want to mine around Y level 17 if you're going to branch mine. However, you can also just mine on the surface if you don't want to do that much work. Nether gold ore is still pretty common on the surface. When it comes to Nether gold ore, I would also recommend using a silk touch pickaxe instead of fortune. Rare exception, but here's why. If you mine it with fortune, you'll get multiple gold nuggets. Alright, but if you mine it with silk touch, you get the ore itself, and you can then smelt that to get an entire gold ingot. ingot. Which would you rather have, a few nuggets or a full ingot? And while we're down here in the nether, I guess I should also mention nether quartz ore. It spawns in pretty much the same way that nether gold ore does, so again in nether waste biomes, and it spawns enough on the surface that you really don't need to do any special mining techniques just to be in the biome. Fortune pickaxe and you'll get a bunch. Heading back to the surface world now, we're looking at redstone ore. This one's simple. It's found most commonly at Y level -59 or close to the bottom of the world. So while you could find a cave that goes all the way down there, branch mining is an easier and safer option as well. Following that, we got lapis ore, most commonly found at Y level 0 or just when deep slate level starts. You can either cave or branch mine to find this ore. Both methods are pretty effective, but because it generates quite deep, branch mining might be the safer method to find this one. Emerald ore is up next, and it is an interesting one. This one spawns only in mountain biomes, nowhere else, and the best Y level for it is all the way up at level 236. However, not every mountain goes that high, so the closer you can get to that level while still being underground, the better. The next ore we're going to talk about is diamond. There are multiple good ways to find this one. Many people, when looking for diamonds, often just hop into a cave and just explore for some, and this is actually a pretty solid method, but there are a few big mistakes that people make with this which we need to cover. First of all is the level that you're mining at. Now when it comes to diamonds, usually the deeper the cave the better. You want to be at least deep slate level, which starts around Y equals 0, and preferably as close to layer -58 as you can get. That is the optimal level for diamond mining, so if you can find a cave that gets all the way down there, or at least close, you're going to increase your chances significantly. But that's pretty basic stuff. We also have to consider visibility. The new Minecraft caves are big and dark. Even with stacks of torches, you can see the floor pretty good, but the walls, the roof, not at all. And this isn't great because you could potentially be missing diamonds in those obscured areas. There is a solution for this though, and that is to use night vision potions. These will fully brighten your screen down here, so now you have a vision on basically every block in the cave. This makes missing potential diamonds much harder, but even if you don't have night vision potions, that's fine. Just ensure you've covered every part of the cave you can with torches, including the edges and the walls of the cave as well. Another great idea is to try exploring some of these smaller caves on top of the big ones. These ones are easier to see in and traverse, plus if you already found a big cave, very good chance that you find at least 3 or 4 of these tunnels branching out from the main one, so these are a viable option as well. There's only one problem with caving: the mobs. There are going to be full-on waves of them down here, and unless you have solid armor, it is really dangerous, especially if you're on hardcore. So that leads us into the other methods. One absolutely amazing method in particular is underwater caves. Now, just to give you some context, diamonds are less likely to spawn when exposed to air blocks. This is the reason that even in these massive caves, they're still pretty rare to find. But there's no air underwater, meaning as long as you find a decently deep underwater cave, you'll be finding veins of diamonds basically everywhere you look. The best part is that there are 0 mobs down here. You might find the occasional drowned, but they are way too slow to provide any sort of major threat to you, and they're much easier to deal with than skeletons on the surface. This is honestly just a very low risk, high reward method, but before you jump into this, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind. One, you will definitely want a night vision potion here as well, because water visibility, although it's slightly better than a regular cave, it's still pretty difficult to see stuff down here, so it's just better to be safe, especially considering you don't have torches. Also, you want to make sure to bring doors so that you can place them down and create air pockets. That way you can breathe without the need for water breathing potions. If you're on bedrock, you can also use magma blocks, works just as well. And third, this isn't super necessary, but it is nice to have Depth Strider 3 and Aqua Affinity enchantments. Just makes your mobility and mining underwater so much faster. But if jumping underwater doesn't sound appealing to you, then don't worry. First of all, we have branch mining. But if you want an even easier version of branch mining, especially one that saves you time and pickaxe durability, then crawl mining is another great one too. This works in both Bedrock and Java. All you need to do is place a trapdoor down on a wall at layer -58, level with you just like so, walk right up to the trapdoor, open it, and close it again, and now as you can see, I am crawling. From here, I can mine into the wall in a straight line and basically dig out a straight 1-block tunnel. This is a lot faster than branch or strip mining, plus you're getting exposed to 5 new blocks every time you mine just one. Get an efficiency pickaxe that will help you mine blocks a lot faster, and really important, if you can, make sure to get some Swift Sneak 3 leggings. Swift Sneak can be found in the underground ancient cities, so you will have to do a bit of cave exploring. Hey, you might find some diamonds while you do that, but Swift Sneak leggings will significantly increase your crawling speed so that crawl mining becomes a much more efficient method overall. And finally, the most valuable ore in the game, Netherite or ancient debris. Let's take a look at the best way to find this ore. To start this method, you first need to make sure you're in the right conditions. First of all, you'll need to head into the Nether and find either a Nether wastes biome or a warped forest. We're going to use these biomes for mining as they are by far the safest biomes in the Nether with the least amount of lava as well. Of course, when you're mining for Netherite, you would much rather have less hostile conditions to mine in. The second reason is that we're going to be using explosives, and netherrack explodes much easier than other blocks do. When you're in a basalt delta biome, for example, all the blocks there are hard rock. None of them are going to explode that easily. So now that you're in the correct biome, to do this mining method, we'll now need to expose the chunk borders. On Java, you'll need to press F3 and G on your keyboard. As you can see, we can now see the chunk borders, these little yellow and red squares. A lot of people think this is some sort of cheating. It's really not. You can do this on a regular survival world without cheats at all. It's just a debug feature, and we're going to use it to our advantage. If you're on Bedrock Edition, you don't have the debug option to see chunk borders. You'll have to do this method. Turn on your coordinates, pull up a calculator if you need to. Divide either your X value or your Z value by 16. I'll just do Z, so 24 divided by 15 is this. From here, round it to the nearest whole number. This rounds to 2, and then multiply it by 16, so for me, 32. These are now the coordinates of the nearest chunk border. Sorry for the math, but that's basically the only way to do it in vanilla on Bedrock Edition without mods. The reason we want to use the chunk borders when we're mining is pretty simple. Basically, a certain amount of ancient debris will spawn per chunk. By mining along a chunk border, you're basically mining in 2 chunks at the same time, effectively doubling the chance that you find ancient debris. It's pretty cool. We're still on the surface though, and all the netherite is way underneath us. So after you've aligned yourself with a chunk border, pick a spot along the border where there isn't a lot of lava nearby. You want to make sure you're in the middle of a good amount of land. That way, when you dig down, the chance that you'll run into lava is much smaller. After this, you'll need to actually dig down, and pretty far at that, around layer 13. Of course, be safe about it. Don't dig completely straight down. I like to do this method where you dig 2 blocks at the same time. That way, even if you mine something dangerous, you have another block to stand on. After you've dug down to layer 13, here's what I want you to do. Dig a 2x2 tunnel in any direction and make this tunnel long, okay? I mean like around 75 to 100 blocks long, maybe even longer would be slightly better. If you run into lava while digging in one direction, you can still expand the tunnel on the other side as well. So now you'll need 20 to 30 beds. Yes, beds, like the wool beds. As long as you have a sheep farm, this should not be that much of a problem. It's only around a stack of wool in total to make 20 beds. And once you have all these beds, you're going to dig out a bunch of 4-block long holes in the walls of your tunnel, just like so. Do this every 7 or 8 blocks and do it on both sides of the tunnel. As you can see, each of the holes should be facing each other just like this. Okay, now comes the juicy part. The reason we needed all the beds is that beds actually explode in the Nether when you try to sleep in them. Why? Well, we really don't know. It's an intentional feature of the game though, and it's also way cheaper than crafting TNT, so we might as well use it to our advantage when mining for netherite. Place 1 bed at the end of each of these little holes that you just mined in your tunnel. Be very careful to just place the bed, as if you accidentally click again, the bed can potentially explode and kill you. You don't want that to happen. Be really cautious when handling beds in the Nether. Alright, now what you're going to do is dig 1 block into the ground just like so. Now you can see the hole is just kind of like eye level with us. Then we're going to peek around the corner right here. Just peek, don't go any further than that. And you can see the white of the bed right here. We're just going to click our use button. Bam, that just exploded the bed. Now you're going to look at the other side of the tunnel. that bed is still going to be there. You're going to peek around the hole and explode that bed as well. Do the same thing for every bed in the tunnel, and what's going to happen is, as you can see, we are exposing a ton of blocks, like a ton of blocks. Pretty much twice the radius of a TNT explosion, and that's the best thing you can do when mining for netherite, because although a lot of the blocks we're exposing are just netherrack, there's also a lot of ancient debris exposed as well. And again, because of the chunk border, we're exposing 2 different chunks at the same time, greatly increasing the amount of debris that we find. Make sure to scour the whole tunnel for debris. This method is fast and efficient, and once you're done with exploding one tunnel, just mine out another long 2x2 tunnel on a different chunk border, rinse and repeat. I can't give you a fixed number of how much debris you'll get per tunnel exploded. Sometimes you get like 5 or 6, sometimes you get like 25. I got 15 in this tunnel. Over time, guys, as a player, I've learned that anybody who gives you a fixed number of debris per hour is just lying, because it's not that predictable. If you guys did enjoy this video, then please consider dropping a like and a sub, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.